What up, boys? You're watching 99 Media, and in this video I'll show you how to complete the hidden task, the Rebel Path. This task is issued by Gunny, and what I mean by hidden task is that it won't naturally appear in your task list like others that'll appear automatically or by completion of other tasks. So a lot of guys, myself included, will come across this task while doing either an ammo run or completing a task at Fort Nerith, and you might, see a few people here just messing around in this forest where there's, it seems kind of isolated, like there's nothing over there, and you might go there and check it out just to see what's going on, and you might hear a bunch of shots being fired, like I did, and that's how I came across this hidden task. And I can't remember off the top of my head, but there are about 4 or 5 hidden tasks. And so that's how you can discover this hidden task in particular upon exploration and discovering one of the 4 different locations involved in this task. Now that being said, again, there are 4 different locations that I'll give throughout this video, and to go with those 4 different locations, there are about 5 different good LZs to go along with those locations that I'll also show throughout this video. Now without further ado, I'll start with location number 1. You're going to be looking for what's labeled as LLA Outpost, and out of the 4 different outposts, the first outpost is going to be in grid 136126. The best LZ that I would suggest for this first outpost with the least amount of contact making it there would be Lima 3. Its grid coordinates are 136122. And upon touchdown, you can make your way along this footpath, generally north towards the first outpost. Now, all of these outposts are pretty much structured about the same. There's usually going to be a campfire in the center, and there will usually be some sort of a main structure. What you want to do is get near to the main structure for the other ones to complete, but for the first one, what you want to do is go to the main structure, and upon looking at this map here, you will receive a prompt to inspect and report, and then once you do, it will go ahead and issue you the task, and then give you 4 of the other outposts, but you need to discover them on your own, I believe, if I remember correctly. And for the second outpost, its grid codes are 192134. The closest LZ that I found would be Juliet 4 at 189131. And for the third outpost, it's going to be here at 208144. The closest LZ I would suggest is India 1, and it's at 206142. And for the very final outpost, it's going to be located here, outside of Midnight Sapphire, in grid 165165. There are a couple good LZs that are just about the same distance from each other from this last outpost. Foxtrot 1 and Hotel 3 are the closest ones that I would suggest. I decided to go ahead and go with Foxtrot 1 because it looks like it'll be just bypassing some of the roads, and there's more contact along a lot of these main roadways. And if you land here at Foxtrot 1, then you can just go ahead and cut it straight shot across southeast and make it there relatively unscathed. Yeah, you just need to get close as you can to the main structure, and the task is completed. Hey there, Post-Production 99 here. This would be a great point in the video to stop time-wise, given all the important details, but if you'd like, please feel free to stick around here with me a little bit more, and I just wanted to share a few extra tips, especially if you're running this solo like I was. But yeah, as you can see here, I'm continuing along the footpath, and I take contact here, and as soon as I continue along here, you can see I get hit instantly, and I'm shot at by one, two, and then a third guy. I break contact here because I can't see anyone, and I'm instantly already in a lot more than I expected, coming from that North LZ. You know, the thing about these guides is I always try to add something a little bit more helpful or include a little bit more detail, even if it means the videos are a little bit more complex or they take longer to view. But I feel like that helps me kind of stand out against some of the other creators. Not that there's anything wrong with them. I myself have watched a lot of the other creators in the gray zone space and have definitely relied on them to, at times, get some of my own tasks completed in some of my earlier days. Well, I don't want to keep rambling on and on forever, so that way I won't have to end up making the editing too much of a burden. But just to get right into the tips here, I want to say first and foremost, I want to point out that here in some extra footage that I've included, running into contact along the way to the last outpost from the northern LZ, and it's because of this reason why I no longer recommend Foxtrot 1 and would opt for Hotel 3 instead, as the only contact you'll face is maybe a single guy on the road, and that's maybe. I tested it later to vet this LC and put it to the test, and there actually wasn't anyone I had to face, just beelining it straight to that last outpost. But anyways, I digress. We're going to go ahead and speed run through all the tips so that way this video doesn't end up getting too close to, hopefully, too close to 10 minutes or so. So the first tip I want to go through, and I think would probably be the easiest, would be to just bring a friend if you have one. If you have a friend and they're online and they're able to go with you on this mission, or if they're willing, or maybe even put something in the chat and see if anyone from your faction is willing to go with you and help you out on that. It'll definitely lighten up the load of taking on all the jungle guys alone. And for what it's worth, all of the outposts are all structured pretty much the exact same way. They'll have like the same structure models and whatnot, so make of that what you will. And so my next tip would be, don't do it all in one go. There's plenty of fobs around, or I guess cops is what you'd call them, and there's plenty of opportunities to return back to base once you've done like one outpost, or you could break it up in half or something, and those would be great opportunities to either re-up on your ammo and other supplies, make sure your medical's all good, and if you're experienced enough, I would say if you're confident enough to do it all in one go, then you probably don't need me to tell you to keep an eye on all the basics like food and water. And speaking of supplies, obviously bring plenty of ammo and first aid, of course. Grenades can help. Grenades are pretty useful for tossing either in the center of the outposts and seeing if you can get a few, or either starting ambushes. They're a great way to start ambushes, or even just a good way to clear out a lot of them hiding in the bushes. I know they like to really hide in the bushes, and bringing plenty of ammo so that way it's that extra peace of mind that, you know, you won't run out of ammo as you're just sort of spraying in the bushes or laying down heavy suppressive fire, and that to go along with the grenades as well will definitely help against the AI that really like to hide in all these bushes. I've seen some players suggest bringing a shotgun, and for the most part, I'd say this is a pretty sound piece of advice. I kind of tried to test this as well. I did end up actually dying while using the shotgun, but that was probably because of just a freak mishap of the bots being able to see through some of the foliage and basically breaking past whatever concealment I had. So I think that was just a little mishap. I don't think it was due to the shotgun being a bad tactic or bringing a bad piece of equipment to bring it all. You gotta be careful is the ammo that you bring. You definitely want to bring buckshot. The green shells are obviously slugs, which you're going to have to be accurate with, and why do that when you could just bring, you know, something with 30 rounds in a mag. And, you know, the same will go for black shells, which are Sabo rounds, which are... I'm not going to go into what Sabo rounds are, but they're essentially the same thing. So bring something that can spray into a bush, like buckshot, which is the red shells. And most of the ammo that you'll get off of the enemies are usually either green shells or black shells, but fortunately you can buy buckshot off of Gunny pretty early on in the store, I believe. Okay, and the next few tips I'm going to go over are going to be more directly involved with actually clearing out the outposts. So the first one I have to offer is high ground. I know it's pretty hard sometimes in the jungle to find high ground, and it's usually when you do find high ground, it's not always very advantageous, but it can become pretty advantageous if you get the right angles, if the ground that you're on is high enough to where you can actually get some sort of eyes on within an outpost, especially if you bring good optics or something that has some good zoom. And my next tip would be to clear the outside radius, or I guess technically it would be circumference, but it's basically a tactic where you enter the general AO and then you move around the outer perimeter, clearing out everyone you can as you move in towards the center. And that can kind of help with more of a little bit of a methodical clearing method, so it can kind of bring a little bit more method to the madness. My next one is pretty much directly related to go in right after clearing the outer perimeter, which would be sometimes if you've cleared the outer perimeter or if you don't really have much more of an option, would be to simply just take the leap of faith and get in close and get to hard cover as soon as you can, just to get a foothold inside that outpost. And I know it's pretty hard in the jungle to find cover, but I mean, cover and concealment, definitely focus on cover and concealment. Concealment is okay for temporary or if you're just moving, but if you can find like a pile of rocks or a tree that's thick enough, then yeah, definitely go for hard cover over concealment, as that was my downfall with using the shotgun. But this is gonna conclude all the tips that I have to offer for this video. Hey guys, quick bonus tip I forgot to add. Real quick here, if you go into the main structure of each of the outposts, and this does apply for all of the outposts, you'll see on the wall there's going to be the maps, as you know, and on those maps there's going to be little red X marks. These are indicative of the other outposts across Lemang, and you can use those to kind of generally find the rough location of all the other outposts. And this concludes the mission. If this video helped you out in any way, please consider dropping a like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.